Templar Knights help people, but there's been problems with organization. Let's see what's happening now.
There has been this new organization, the Templar Knights. They were knights that had all the good traits of a knight. Many people went to put their property in Europe under Templar protection because they were off to the Holy Land. With this business, Templar Knights started gaining much wealth and started loaning money to the kings. Templar Knights started having power over the kings because they loaned money to the kings. So King Philip IV has tried to attack these knights. Duke, a Templar Knight, is here. How has he attacked the knights?
Many Templars have been arrested accusing them of heresy and making fun of God. Some have been burned and tortured.
Do you believe King Philip will succeed in taking the money?
I believe so. The king will get anything his way, but we are not going to go down without a fight.
Thanks, Duke. And back to the studio.
How did the Crusades affect Europe in the 1200s? Let's find out with our live field reporter now.
We're reporting live from Europe in 1212, where just yesterday Pope Innocent III proclaimed a crusade against the Albigenses, found in southern France in the city of Albi, because they rejected the authority of the Pope and the sacraments of the Church. Teutonic Knights, however, waged a crusade against pagans in the Baltic region, which led to them forming a state there. Then the popes declared several campaigns against a variety of German emperors to be crusades offering indulgences to those who fought them. We are here with the French monarchy who has joined the crusade against the Albigenses. So do you know the Albigenses' beliefs in the material world?
They believe that the material world was created by an evil God in the Old Testament. They also believe that the good God from the New Testament created spiritual things.
Why do they have a problem with Roman Christianity?
They refused the authority of the Pope and set up their own bishoprics.
Okay, so the Albigenses won many adherents in the southern France, mainly in towns and cities. When you join the Pope Innocent III against the Albigenses, what do you believe the outcome will be?
I honestly think we will inflict a savage punishment to beat the Albigenses since 1213, and I will be the primary beneficiary.
Thank you for your time, and back to the studio.
Thank you. Now we go on the scene to learn about the consequences that the Crusades brought.
We are here in France where Jews and Christians have been having violence and restrictions to the Jews. Jews have been expelled from England in 1290 by King Edward. After in 1306, King Philip V did the same here in France. After Jews were admitted back to France, they felt hostility and pressured into converting. Today we interview Mark, a Jew, about how it's been coming back to France with so much hostility. What are the restrictions the Crusades brought to you?
Jews can't do much. We are prohibited from any trade with Christians except money lending, but it angers the Christians if we trade with them.
Has the Crusades affected any other religions?
Yes, also Muslims and Christians don't get along. They make each other look like animals. The Christians saw the Crusades as sacred religious movement, but Muslims saw it as expansionist. This has been a controversial thing between them.
Thank you, Mark. As we see, the goal of the Crusaders is to convert the Muslims and Jews to Christians. At the end, we'll see what happens between these races of religions. Now back to the studio.
Now we go to a reporter to talk about how women helped out in the Crusades.
3, 2, 1.
I'm reporting in the 7th Crusade, where women are taking a big role in the Crusades. Even though women are considered the weaker sex, they helped out the soldiers in various ways. Let's now turn to Hilda, who has helped out with chores.
Yes, we have helped out by washing the soldiers' clothes, taking care of their armor, and feeding day and night. Some of us have even done more than what a regular married woman would do to lonely soldiers. We have offered sexual services. The men outnumbered us, so it wasn't rare for Christian men and Muslim women to get married. It was more common for Christian men to marry Orthodox Christian women.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Yes, some of us have secretly sneaked into war and actually taken part in fighting by putting on armor and helmets and would fight alongside knights. They assisted in filling the moats surrounding fortified places with earth so that ladders and war engines could be brought close. However, providing water was more important due to the dry climate in the Middle East.
Thank you, Hilda. Now back to the studio.
3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Now we go to Antioch in the Middle East, where the Crusaders had conquered Muslim territory. Let's see what's going on in Antioch. Hi, I'm in Antioch, southeast Turkey, one of the 4 states that has been established in newly conquered Christian territory. I'm here to find out how Antioch came to be. Excuse me, soldier.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a few questions. So how was the city of Antioch founded?
Well, it all started in 1096 when thousands of European Christians, along with pilgrims, joined the First Crusade.
So what was responsible for the success of the First Crusade?
The First Crusade was successful mainly because of the dynamic enthusiasm of the Crusaders. It really showed how much support the First Crusade received.
What were some setbacks of the First Crusade?
In general, the First Crusade was somewhat unorganized. Nothing was known about Middle Eastern geography. About the Crusaders could never decide on a leader, along with the starvation and disease took a toll on the army.
What was the Crusaders' greatest victory?
The greatest victory would have to be the taking of Jerusalem in 1099.
What did the Crusaders do once they conquered Jerusalem?
Well, they stayed and slowly set up institutions to rule the conquered territories and people. It was then that the 4 Crusaders stayed. Jerusalem, Edessa, Tripoli, and Antioch were formed.
Why are there still soldiers here in Antioch?
They're here to serve as reinforcements against Muslim reconquest.
What do you think is going to occur because of the First Crusade?
I think that the Pope will approve of more expeditions like the First Crusade. I have also heard that the nobles are going to send their family members if there are more expeditions.
Thank you, sir. Now back to the studio.